Welcome to day 17 of my 40-day fast. And over these 40 days, what I'm doing is answering 40 questions in 40 days to celebrate really 20 years of doing long-term fasting. And all of these questions are around short to long-term fasting, and particularly focused on how there can be body changes, but also we're going to be looking a lot more around the theology of fasting as well. Well, if you watched day 16 yesterday, I just re-watched day 16, and I talked about the joy of fasting, and I noticed that I didn't look very joyful. In fact, I look quite run down. And one of the effects of long-term fasting is you don't have the same energy and bounce that you might have normally. And so I rewatched it and I'm like, oh, it wasn't very joyful. So that's probably why. But I'm on day 17 and I'm so thankful about that. And I'm thankful that it's helpful for some of you guys out there who are following along. So I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep answering some more questions, particularly for the second half of this fast. I'll be a lot more focused on some of the theology around fasting, and hopefully that'll be helpful for you as well. So day 17, and the question that I'm answering today is, how do I stop daydreaming about food? And this is a really powerful thing that I've found in my life, is that whenever I come into a fast, because I'm hungry all of a sudden, and a lot of the time in life I'm not as hungry, so I'm not thinking about food as much when I'm eating all the time. But when I'm not eating at all, I think about food all the time. In fact, I'm a bit of a daydreamer. In fact, I'm a lot of a daydreamer, and I find myself daydreaming about food. I would not normally pay attention to cookbooks, but during fasting time, I used to be totally into them. I'd just sit there on the lounge when it was time to eat. Instead of eating, I'd be dreaming about, at the end of the fast, what I'm gonna cook, because I was so hungry. In fact, on YouTube, I can find myself watching, guilty pleasure here, Gordon Ramsay. I will watch him a lot. And not just because of the drama that's created in the kitchen, but I'm salivating or I'm drooling over the food. And so I can find myself missing the smells and missing the taste. And what happens is that instead of just moving on with my day, I actually become fixated around food. And the very thing that I'm not wanting to do happens. I don't want to idolize food, but what happens is that I can find myself, even in a fast, idolizing food. Because I think about it all the time. Now, what is an idol? An idol is basically something that is been a gift from God, something good, something that in its right place is a gift from God, like food, but we take that and elevate it to a place where it's not supposed to be, and we idolize it. So, for me, what it is I have to keep training myself not to pick up cookbooks and to avoid on YouTube watching videos that are around food. On my reels on Facebook, there's a lot of food ones that come up at the moment, because if I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, I just naturally go off into thinking about hamburgers with melted cheese flowing down and all sorts of flavors, and I want to avoid that. So what I have to do is, in my daydreaming, I have to catch myself and say, oh, is this exactly what I want to be thinking about when I'm fasting? And what I do is I redirect my thoughts. And I want to encourage you, if you find yourself salivating over hamburgers and tacos in Mexico, where I'm at the moment, it's so easy to think about the taco places I'm going to go to when I finish fasting. But I'm trying to redirect my mind away from daydreaming about food and back onto what I'm actually fasting about. So can I encourage you today, day 17, if you've been daydreaming about food and finding yourself thinking, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to eat that, just redirecting as much as you can. Try to limit a little bit more what you're doing around your thought life when it comes to food. If this is a helpful video for you, can I encourage you to like it and share it, and get on YouTube and become a subscriber? That would be a fantastic thing to do. I hope that you are finding long-term fasting a really helpful thing to do. If so, just drop me a comment on YouTube or on Facebook, and that'll be really good. I hope you've been encouraged. Have a great day today, day 17, as you seek God with everything you've got, as we lay aside the wonderful things He's given us in food, that we in order might chase after Him more and more. Have a great day. See you for day 18 tomorrow.